sharing our stories connects us. Listen and be connected. Join us for the Conversation meeting weekly at the intersection of community and culture. Hosted by Mario Nunez and Joe King Carter. And if it's that sound, if it's that intro music, you know it's one thing and one thing only. It's Wednesday. It's noon. This is WMNF 88.5 in Tampa. If you're listening to us from abroad, it's WMNF.org. This is The Conversation. I'm your host, one of your two hosts. You like the way I did that, Joey? I'm one of your two hosts, Mario Nunez. I'm seated alongside my broadcast partner, Joe King Carter. King.
Good afternoon, everyone out there.
Let's ring that bell for King.
Out there in the world listening to us today, thank you so much for being there.
King, I can tell you right now, from where I sit, your beard looks fantastic.
Really?
But it could look better. If I give you my trimmer, would you use it?
Well, this is very trimmed, my friend.
I'm just saying. You know, the three of us have beards.
It could be more like
the three of us have
It could
beards.
be more like our guest today, and I could be a little more
But his is fierce, if you
like
know what
the
I'm
great
saying.
sage.
Yeah, his is fierce. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being there. Listen, as we do each and every Wednesday, we like to start by just kind of reviewing what our week was like. We hope your week was eventful and not too sad and not too forlorn, because these are forlorn times, are they not, Joey?
Oh, it's wow, it's intense. I don't even know how to describe my feelings in the words, and that's unusual for me, but the world has gone insane, and
mad.
We are all probably feeling the stress and the trauma of what is happening to us. So please, folks, be kind to yourself.
You do that every week, Joe, and we appreciate it, because the words that you share with us have impact. And, you know, maybe they're out there listening and people are feeling that sense of dread that we are.
Yes.
You know, whether it's the gas prices that seem to be escalating through the roof, whether it's the fact that I went to the grocery store the other day, as one does. As one does.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite Nabisco chocolate Chips Ahoy cookie was now up to $7.95 a pack.
Wow.
I'll ask you, Joe, did it stop me from buying that pack of cookies?
Absolutely not.
No, it did not.
No.
But I was a little bit aggravated when I went through the cashier's line. I mentioned it to her.
Well, addiction is a serious thing.
Are you saying that I have an addiction, Joe?
Well, of course you do. But the point is,
yes.
I mean, if you paid nearly $8 for a bag of cookies, you definitely have an addiction.
So what you can do is, you know, you can very easily buy a bag of Pillsbury dough and make those cookies yourself.
Well, sure you can, or make them from scratch. Well, listen, let me just also say that
Please.
on a positive note,
okay.
Sunday was International Women's Day.
Yes.
And, you know, folks, I think every day should be International Women's Day. And I think I have a lot of hope and faith tied into the women of the world. I was raised by a strong woman, and I know what that can mean to our culture and what is currently happening to us in the world. Now, we can't go ahead and alienate all those poor men, those white men who are running things. But so let's be thoughtful of that as we try to get them into our fold. But at the same time, they are the creators of much of our problems, and I really hope that more and more women will voice themselves in the coming election and will stand up even more and more, because I think that they could be a salvation.
As we continue to celebrate Women's Month here at WMNF.
There you go, absolutely.
And what a segue as we introduce our white male bearded guest today. Joey, who's in studio with us? Who's in studio with us?
We have with us today, known to everyone at WMNF and their radio audience, I think probably, Dr. Bob Lochte, who for many years was the host of the famous 60 show on Saturdays and here on WMNF. And he is here today with his Dr. Bob's Dusty Disc.
Easy for you to say, Joey. I'm glad you took that one, because I've been practicing all week and it never came out that way.
So welcome, Dr. Bob.
Hey, Dr. Bob.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys. And I think we're gonna celebrate women today. Why not?
Thank you.
Why not? You know, I mean, three old white guys sitting around talking about women. You know, we could be in a bar, right?
That's
Yes,
right.
we could.
Yes, that's true.
Jessica, what do you think about that? Three old white guys sitting around talking about women, huh?
Jess?
Yeah, it's just another day.
We expected something from you, Jess.
Yeah,
and we got it.
Okay. Well, I asked you guys for some suggestions for playlists and so forth, and I got a few. And I think, Joe, you wanted to hear I'm a Woman, which is a great song. And I think that has a 1920s vibe, and I was very surprised to realize that it's a 60s piece. And, of course, I remember the 60s, sort of, sometimes,
Comes and goes.
Yeah.
Hope you do, too. But it was written by the rock and roll songwriting team of Leiber and Stoller.
Oh, wow.
And, of course, Peggy Lee had a big hit with it. Maria Moldauer had a hit with it.
Take your camel to bed.
But we're going to hear one by Christine Kittrell. I don't know if you ever heard Christine before or not.
No. Well, maybe, and not realized it.
Okay, she recorded the song first, which is why I thought I'd do this one. And also, she was born, as was I, in Nashville, Tennessee. So we have a little connection there. But Christine was a pretty good R&B singer. Nashville had a pretty good R&B scene in the 50s and early 60s. But she sang with a band called Louis Brooks and his High Toppers, which are, if you've never heard them, they're great. But anyhow, she was pretty good on the Shetland circuit. She had following in Nashville, Atlanta, New Orleans. Never was top ranked, not like Dinah Washington or Ruth Brown or Etta James and so forth, but a good, solid performer. And she eventually moved up to Columbus, Ohio, and she got a couple of pretty good recording contracts, one with King Records out of Cincinnati and another one with VJ out of Chicago, two good R&B labels. Anyhow, this recording was on VJ 1962. Christine Kittrell, I'm a Woman.
I can wash out 44 pairs of socks and have them hanging out on the line. I can start to 9 2 dozen shirts before you can count from 1 to 9. I can scoop up a great big dipper full of lard from the drippings can. Throw in the skillet, go out, do my shopping, be back before it melts in the pan. 'Cause I'm a woman. W-O-M-A-N. Oh, I'll say it again. I'm a woman. W-O-M-A-N. When you come to me all sick, you know I'll make you well. When you get all hicked up, you know I'll break the spell. If you come to me hungry, I'll fill you full of grits. If it's loving you like, and I'll kiss you and give you shivering fits. 'Cause I'm a woman. W-O-M-A-N. Oh, I've gotta say it again. I'm a woman. W-O-M-A-N. I got a $20 gold piece, says ain't nothing I can't do. I can make a dress out of a feed bag, and I can make a man out of you. I'm a woman. W-O-M-A-N. Oh, I'll say it again. I'm a woman. W-O-M-A-N. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Woman. Oh, yes, I am.
Oh, how about that? Christine Kittrell. What do you think about her, huh?
Yeah, wow. I don't think I've ever heard those lyrics so clearly and distinctly before and understood them really. What great lyrics and what a great voice she had.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's kind of a sad end of that story, but she actually was big on the USO circuit in the 60s, played military bases here and overseas. And she was in Vietnam in 68, and the base came under attack. she picked up some shrapnel in her right foot, and it got infected, became gangrene, and they said, we're going to put you on a plane, fly you back to the United States, and they thought they were going to have to amputate her foot.
Wow.
But they saved it. They saved her foot, but and the consequence was that she developed a dependence on narcotic pain pills, and that basically ended her singing and recording career. She never really recovered from that. But anyway, at least we've got recorded music.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's one.
Dr. Bob, if I could, let me just remind everybody that's just joining us, if you just happen to turn over to 88.5 on your radio, this is The Conversation. Today, we're talking with Dr. Bob Lotke. And as happens here on the show, about every quarter, because, he's convinced us, and it took very precious little convincing to do, to come in here, because one thing we do get when Dr. Bob is with us is a wonderful history lesson. He's very thoughtful in the music that he puts together, and of course the stories that he tells that accompany the music. Just an education. So we hope you lean in today. We're going to give you the phone number in just a little while if you'd like to contribute to our conversation today. But Dr. Bob, let me say at the top, thank you again for coming in.
Oh, listen, it's my pleasure. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I enjoy doing this, and I also enjoy that you're not asking me to do it every week. So that's almost like work, So those old retired people, we're like that. So
we want to keep it fresh with you, Doctor. We want to keep it fresh.
Okay. Let's see, Mario. You wanted to hear "Respect," didn't you?
I thought that.
It's a pretty good one.
It's a good one, and of course, everybody knows the lyrics, and we all sing it all the time.
I don't know if you were aware of this, but by the mid-'60s, Aretha Franklin was almost washed up.
Interesting.
She got a contract at the age of 18 with Columbia Records.
With that voice, Dr. Bob?
And a major recording in Columbia, RCA, and Decca were the three big ones.
Absolutely.
And she was with Columbia, and I think it was the label's problem. I don't think it was her. I think the talent was there, and they just didn't know what to do with her. And they tried to turn her into a pop singer.
Mm-hmm.
And
from her gospel roots to a pop singer. No?
Oh yeah, and by 66 or so, her records weren't selling at all, and they dropped the contract. And Atlantic Records, which was a much smaller label at that time, and was basically a soul and R&B label, with Jerry Wexler, they picked her up just like that. And Jerry said, "Look, she is. I don't care if she's from Detroit. She's a Southern soul singer."
Right.
And one of the best I have ever heard. So he did a couple of things. First off, he realized that she sang with much more passion when she was playing the piano. Mm-hmm. And he said, "Okay, you're in the recording studio. You're going to sing.
Put her behind the piano.
Yeah, you're gonna play and you're going to sing." And then he decided, well, Southern Soul, we've got a good relationship with these folks down in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, Fame Studios, and they've been doing Wilson Pickett and Otis Redding and a couple of others. We're going to send her down there to record. Mm-hmm. And so she did. She did a couple of records, and they were pretty good. And the chemistry in the studio was great. These are all white boys. White boys.
The studio musicians.
The studio musicians. And they got along very well. But she and her husband said, "Just get us the hell out of Alabama." And
must have been rough going at night.
They got on a plane. They flew back to New York, and they had to cut the session short. So Wexler said, "Well, we can deal with that. We just put those boys on a plane and fly them up here to New York."
There you go.
And so they set up sessions, and they hired King Curtis to play saxophone and kind of arrange the sessions, and said, "Oh, by the way, we're going to hire your sisters to sing backup for you, so you'll be comfortable." So they go into the studio in New York to do her next sessions, and one of the tunes they recorded was "Respect," which was it's an Otis Redding song, and Otis recorded it, and it's baby, I'm out here working my butt off and paying the bills and raising a family here, and I come home and you're nagging on me. Cut it out. Give me some respect. Okay, that's Otis's version.
Right.
Aretha sings it, and from the female perspective, and it's about sex. I don't know any other way to describe it.
Full on.
It's about sex. So anyway, why don't we hear? Let's hear Aretha singing "Respect."
Beautiful.
We're grooving, huh?
Wow. You know, in about another 15 years or so after this, Gloria Gaynor came up with another anthem, "I Will Survive." But in the early '60s, this was kind of an anthem in and of itself as well.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think it spoke. I think it spoke to women. It spoke to men. It spoke,
everybody.
There's a statement
listen up.
there.
Yeah, I was going to say if it's indeed about sex, and it is, there's a subtext there, and it's about I'm valuable as a person, and you're going to respect me.
Yeah,
that's how I see it.
Yeah, I think again, a good choice. I appreciate the suggestion because I've always liked Aretha because I grew up in the South, and basically we heard more of that type
Queen
of
of
music
Soul
on the radio than we did the Beatles.
Right.
That was top 40 for us. So well, anyhow, we'll go in other directions here in a moment, but. What do you think so far? Is this women's history? Is this
100%? Joey?
Well, it's women who are at the forefront. I'm sure that
the movement.
I'm sure that they're being. There's a lot of probably men in the background, but I asked you the question earlier before the show about how many women producers there might have been in the history of popular music.
And I really don't know the answer, but we might have a listener out there that that would have an idea about that. You never know.
Yeah.
This would be a good time with that segue, Joey. Let me just throw the number out there before we do our station ID. If you'd like to call us, and if you have the answer to Dr. Bob's question, if you know how many women producers there were in the early to mid 60s,
or key figures that you would cite as that. Yeah.
Thank you. Give us a call, 813-239-9663. Operators are standing by. You can send us a text, 813-433-0885. And you heard her lovely voice earlier, Jessica. She's standing by, and she'll read your emails. DJ@WMNF.org.
Hi, I'm Mary Frances Leto Grinnell, and you're listening to The Conversation with Mario Nunez and Joe King Carter on WMNF 88.5 FM in Tampa.
And she did that in one take, Joey.
She was amazing.
And she knows how to pronounce my name so
Mary
perfectly.
Frances. I loved
Thank you,
getting to
Mary
know her.
Frances.
Yeah.
That was a wonderful show. If you missed it last week, it's in the archives. Please do yourself a solid after we get through here with Dr. Bob and listen to that show.
And absolutely, by the other thing I wanted to say real quick is that Dr. Bob and I agreed that certainly at the moment, Taylor Swift is the person that you would cite as somebody who is absolutely in control of her entire destiny. What an amazing personality.
And
incredible
actually,
talent.
I really, I almost couldn't identify a Taylor Swift record if I heard it on the radio. I couldn't, but I just have incredible amount of respect to what she's done with the music industry.
Absolutely.
You know, kind of turned it around. So
Yes.
very, very interesting.
In control of her own masters. She learned her lessons well, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
she
think
knows,
so.
yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And she also came from Nashville, too, so.
Yeah, there you go.
And you know who else learned their lesson well? Can I just say this, Dr. Bob, to interject this? Travis Kelce. Let's ring a bell for Travis Kelce. Huh? Did he hitch his wagon to a star or what?
Yeah, well, he's about done with football. So.
Oh, no, he's well done with football.
Yeah.
Because he don't need football no more.
Yeah, right.
He's going to be chief of security.
I guess I hope so. I hope that lasts. So.
Yes.
You never know. You know,
Me
it's
too.
a celebrity thing. And this is the thing, I was thinking about playing something by Brenda Lee today. And she, again, also from Nashville.
Interesting.
We're sensing a theme, Joey. We're sensing a
Yeah,
theme.
well,
She
Music City.
attended a public high school, Maplewood High School, and she was a cheerleader.
wow.
Can you imagine a singing star, a female or male, and as a teenager, having a normal life today?
No.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think so. I don't think it could. I don't think it could happen today.
But her being a cheerleader makes sense in one way, is that she is a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Type
yeah,
A.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, she's
Well,
a powerhouse.
we'll get to Brenda sometime, maybe in a future show or so
Yeah,
forth. So.
yeah.
How we doing, guys?
Good.
You need a little more music here?
I
Yes.
think so.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
Please.
Well, we're gonna do some scat next. I mean, not this is not the stuff that deer hunters are looking for out there. But
Although that serves a purpose too.
Yeah, there you go.
Lets you know.
improvisational jazz singing style that
Yes.
was supposedly invented by Louis Armstrong. But that's another story for maybe another show. But we're going to hear Ella Fitzgerald do this because she was the absolute master.
The
of
queen
singing
of
style.
scat.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
And I have a story about that, but it's not about Ella. It's about another singer, Doris Day.
Interesting.
Doris Day was, one of America's sweethearts in the 50s and 60s.
Yes.
And I remember our morning daily newspaper, the Nashville Tennessean, had a Sunday magazine. And this would be probably 1959, 1960 or so.
Mm-hmm.
They had a promotion for their Sunday magazine, a Doris Day lookalike contest.
Come on.
Yeah. And when
How many blondies showed up for that?
Oh gosh, I don't know. It was I never remember. I didn't see pictures of the finals, but I just remember that contest and so forth. But anyhow, Doris obviously was a featured vocalist with big bands, became
Yes.
a solo recording star, and a movie star, and so forth. Mm-hmm. But she grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, and she was a very talented dancer. At age 17, I believe, she auditioned and got a contract with a talent agency in Hollywood. And so she was on her way to stardom, and her family and friends held a going-away party for her. And they celebrated, and on the way home, the car ran into a train.
Wow.
And it shattered her right leg and her dancing career. It was all over. 17 years old, and she was laid up for
Devastating.
months. Laid up for months. In traction.
This was 1950s.
Yeah. Or actually, no. This
Late
was,
40s?
Probably around 1940 or 1930s maybe.
Wow.
So medical science was not great. So anyhow, what she decided says, well, okay, I can sing. I need to develop that talent and so forth. Mm-hmm. But she couldn't get out. She couldn't join a choir or something like that. She couldn't take singing lessons. What she did was listen to the radio. And and listen to female singers on the radio and practice.
And mimic that style.
Yes, and learn from them. And she said the one singer, my favorite, absolute favorite, from whom I learned the most was Ella Fitzgerald.
Wow.
And so
Not a bad mentor.
Yeah, so she's listening to Ella. So that's my Ella story. That gets me into this. So.
I see. And also, that she was associated eventually with kind of clean-cut America in the 50s and 60s.
Wasn't
Blonde
she
hair.
How much is that doggy in the window lady?
No, that's Patty Page.
Oh,
Patty
okay,
Page.
okay.
Yeah.
But she was in that genre, though. She was in that.
Yeah. She was
But the
again,
thing-
America's sweetheart.
Right, but she had that should not eclipse her voice. Her voice was she had an amazing voice.
Instrument, sure.
Now, when you share that she was self-taught,
Yeah.
and it was not really her intention
She
originally.
eventually recovered and was able to take lessons, but she had a pretty good idea of what she was doing to begin with. So
Yes.
well, okay, so Ella was also listening to the radio, and she was hearing some of these pop singers. Like I think they mentioned the Boswell sisters and so forth, that were singing something like scat, but they were singing, just these monosyllables to the rhythm and the tune of the music, just singing the regular melody and so forth. And she says, well, you know what I want to do? I want to sing the melodies that these saxophone players and these trumpet players and these clarinet players that are in the bands backing me up, I want to sing those jazz solos. And so she developed that singing style, and that's what took scat into a whole different dimension, whole different dimension for Ella. So anyhow, I've got a selection of that. This is from right her classic period. She was with Verve Records, and she was recording a bunch of albums called songbooks that were, classic American songwriters, Gershwin and Rodgers and Hammerstein and stuff like that. And also there's 2 albums of duets with Louis Armstrong, which are absolute classics of that period. So anyhow, so this is from the Rodgers and Hart soundbook by Ella Fitzgerald. It's a good tune. Spring is coming next week. Doesn't feel like in Florida.
Yes.
Although we're supposed to get a cool snap, aren't we?
Spring is in the air. I hope so.
I hope so.
Yeah,
It's getting too hot too quick.
I know. Anyhow, so this is a good song for spring. We got Ella Fitzgerald singing scat, and this is Blue Skies.
Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song, nothing but bluebirds all day long. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by, when you're in love, my how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on. Noticing the days hurrying by when you're in love, they fly blue days, all of them gone, not but blue skies right now. Bidding
Yeah, you got to try.
Listen. I mean, I just got to say this real quick. I wrote a couple of notes to myself. If you're interested in watching Ella do this, because, you hear it and you wonder what it looks like when she's doing it, there's this wonderful YouTube clip. Just look for it. It's with Mel Torme, the Velvet Fog, and, of course, Ella, and they're scatting back and forth. They're doing this duet, and it's two of the best at the top of their game. That's one thing. Also, I wrote down to myself Al Jarreau, because I know Al Jarreau must have been channeling Ella Fitzgerald all those times that he was doing his form of scat.
Not only Al Jarreau, but probably
everyone.
When Sinatra did Doobie Doobie Doobie,
also
they're all working from her.
And when Ella hit that high note. For a moment,
amazing.
It was 1974 again, or 76 maybe, and I'm watching TV, and there's a commercial on. Is it live? Or is it Memorex?
That's right.
And it was Ella in the sound booth that hit the high note that broke the crystal glass. Do you remember that?
I do
commercial?
remember that, yeah.
Hey, listen, we've got a caller that I think we should probably take because they've been waiting so patiently to speak with us. And we should do that. Is that okay, Bob?
That's fine with me,
Right,
yeah, absolutely.
Here we go. Caller, you're on the air, calling from Ellington, it looks like. What say you, Norman?
Okay, you were asking how many female producers.
We were.
I don't know how many, but I'll tell you who the first was. And I think it was Wanda Jackson, the Queen
Could
of
be.
Rockabilly.
Could be.
That makes sense. Yes, Norman, that makes sense.
Wanda Jackson?
Wanda Jackson. She was one of the first female artists to have complete control of her recordings, to have her picture on the album.
Wow, I wonder what year that would be approximately, do you think,
Well,
Norman?
she left Hank Thompson in 57.
Yeah.
She started with Hank Thompson just out of high school.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
She's a very interesting artist. I think, this is probably for another show or something like that, but she and certainly Brenda Lee and another couple of artists, Janice Martin and so forth, Laurie Collins out on the West Coast. There were these female rock and roll singers, late 50s, early 60s, and the market just wasn't ready for that. Girl groups were fine.
Hell, they were just getting used to Bill Haley in the Comets, I think. He wasn't even on the scene yet.
Yeah, but guys could sing rock and roll, but they weren't ready for women. So Wanda and others, they just
had to wait
turned
their
to
turn.
country music.
That's true.
To have a career and so forth. So, and I think that was her conscious decision.
Yeah.
To do that.
Her career spanned 6 decades.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and she eventually got back into rock and roll and rockabilly, because that's what she wanted to sing, and she was really good at it. Mm-hmm. But again, it's the matter of the market, and you took, later on, you got Grace Slick and people like that come along, and people say, well, maybe these women can sing rock and roll after all,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's
listen,
okay.
Norman, we thank you so much for listening, and thank you for your very informative call. We appreciate you. Keep listening and keep calling anytime you like. Thank you, sir.
Okay, keep up the great work. Thank you.
Thanks, Norman. Appreciate it.
So I wrote a little something here earlier when you were talking, Bob, and it's, about women and women being as capable, if not more so than men, if only given the opportunity. What is it they used to say about Ginger Rogers? That she could do anything that Fred Astaire could do, only backwards and in heels.
That's it.
So, let's ring one for the ladies.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've got a woman producer who beats Wanda Jackson by probably about 30 years.
Come on now.
Which is?
Sally Martin.
Okay, I'm writing that down.
Sally Martin. She was the producer and promoter, marketing wizard for Thomas A. Dorsey, from the
Tommy
gospel
Dorsey.
choir.
Tommy and Jimmy Dorsey.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, Thomas Dorsey, the gospel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Tampa Red, but then he went into gospel.
Yeah.
So
isn't that something?
They established the National Convention of Gospel Choirs and Choruses, and she started with him in like 1932 or even before.
Wow.
All we know,
excellent, Jessica.
All we know,
Excellent.
Joey, is that when she's like E.F. Hutton. She don't speak, but when she does, people shut up and listen.
That's right.
She doesn't ever cue her mic, but this one she had to get out, and we thank you for that, Jess. Thanks.
That's good.
For sharing.
That might be a first. That may be
Tampa Red.
You've got my.
Well, you
attention here.
You can't go. I mean, how much further back before 32 could you go? Really, if you think about it, that's pretty.
The early
early
days of recorded sound, right?
Yeah.
Distributed sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done, Jess.
Excellent. Thanks,
Well done.
Jessica. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you, PBS.
Isn't the
Keep
internet
funding
wonderful?
PBS.
So. Well, again, I think Ella Fitzgerald's singing style was obviously fantastic, but I really think other musicians loved to play with her because she was one of them. Mm-hmm.
And gracious too. Everything we
yeah.
ever heard about her, she was gracious in the studio.
Yeah. Okay. Well, where shall we? I've got one more tune left, but we've got 20 minutes left in the show. So, you want to chat some more?
We can certainly do that. Let me give the number out again because your voices are just as important as ours. In some cases, maybe more so. 813-239-9663. If you'd like to join in, if you have a question, because comments are accepted. Questions are even more important. If you've got a question for Dr. Bob, because he is a repository of all this information, and he waits 3-4 weeks to come on with us to spill it all out. So if you've got something you want to prompt him on, and he's just not versed in the 60s, he'll go a little bit before and certainly a little bit beyond.
Well, he's versed in many things, so there you go.
Professor of good things.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
As you can tell from looking at me, I like to eat too. So.
Yeah, well. So, in these days of woe and want, eating, if they take that away from us, Dr. Bob, what do we have left?
Lord, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But that's okay. All right, well, let's do another. I thought we'd do a protest song.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay?
Yes.
People are protesting all kinds of stuff now, and probably for good
A
reason.
resistance song, a protest song.
Yeah,
Yes.
and this is an old one. I don't know how many times Where Have All the Flowers Gone been recorded.
Oh, wow.
Probably thousands.
I love that song. Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
probably thousands. I remember the Kingston Trio and Peter, Paul, and Mary, back in the folk music era and so forth. But Pete Seeger wrote that song.
The great
That makes
Seeger.
sense.
Pete Seeger wrote that song
Yes.
and published it in 1955.
Wow.
And that was a real low ebb for Pete in his career. He was really in bad shape. He was the founder of a very popular folk singing group called the Weavers.
That's right. Yes.
And the Weavers, they had big money record contract. They're playing concert halls all around the country. They had #1 records. I know one of them was their sing-along version of On Top of Old Smoky.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that would be 1950 or 51 or so. But they ran afoul of the House Un-American Activities Committee.
Oh, yes.
And they were branded as communists.
The long arm of the law.
Oh, yes.
And they lost their recording contract.
Oh, my God.
And the group broke up, and Pete was engaged in a nationwide tour of elementary schools where he sang old American folk songs and taught about them. This is really bad.
Low
period for
ebb.
him. Well, this is when he wrote that song, "Where Have All the Flowers Gone," during that period. And again, it's a very sensitive, and really it's a protest song that doesn't hit you in the face, you know?
Right.
It's one you have to think
No, it's
about.
melodic, and you sing it, and you don't even realize you're singing a protest song.
And by the way, on that point of Joe McCarthy and the House on Un-American Activities, it's really quite amazing when you think that someone, an entity like the Weavers, who today we look back on and they're like the most solidly American kind of cultural moment.
Yeah.
And this group thinks that they're communist.
And they were outliers.
It's unbelievable,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, they didn't go after Burl Ives, though. but they did, and there are also people in the movie industry and stuff like that. You know, it was a mess.
My parents listened to the Weavers, so it was in our house when I was a kid.
Yeah, great stuff. But well, anyhow, this is this version that I picked. You may not have heard this one before. Dolly Parton decided to record this. This is probably 2003, 2004, fairly recent, or more recent than a lot of stuff. Not quite a dusty disc, but
Say that 3 times real fast, Doc.
or not a lot of dust on it and so forth. But anyhow, Dolly wrote an arrangement as a vocal trio. And, of course, you know, you had all this studio stuff. She could do all the parts and overdub them and so forth. But she decided to invite 2 other singers in. So she invited Norah Jones and Leanne Womack to sing with her. So this is Dolly Parton's arrangement of Where Have All the Flowers Gone?
Have the
quote the great Maynard G. Krebs.
Dobie Gillis.
Sitting here getting kind of misty, man.
Yeah, really. No.
Great arrangements. So, and you
That's
were
a
talking
terrific
about
song.
producers. Dolly was one who took control of her career and
absolutely.
decided what exactly
Early on
was going to happen. Yeah, you're pretty good. So, question. We got a question here?
Yes, one of our listeners and longtime volunteers wrote in and would like to know how long Helen Reddy's singing career lasted, or anything else that you know about her.
I don't really know. I know Helen came to us from Australia, and she had that one big hit record.
Yes.
I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar.
Yeah, and I don't know anything about her after that. I wish I did.
Well, I do know this, that she continued to perform into her, and I believe Helen Reddy might still be with us or not. I don't know.
No, she passed.
Oh, she passed? But she sang into the latter years of her life.
Yeah,
she continued to perform. And she had a beautiful voice, and she was quite a performer, yeah.
But, so Joe knows more than I do.
Oh, okay, well.
On the Helen Reddy, yes. And,
I happen to know that.
In fact, when we were kind of sending in our request for music, I think I might have even thrown Helen Reddy into the mix because as we celebrate women and women's songs and anthems about women and their all the possibilities therein.
Fortunately, Izzy played that one this morning. So we got it on.
Thank you, Izzy.
Thank you, Izzy. Thank you, Izzy.
Izzy's the man.
Yeah, no, he's got his finger on the pulse.
By the way, I'd like to say while we're on this is that I have a feeling I grew up in an interesting kind of environment. My parents listened to a lot of different kinds of music, but I was always around country music.
Yeah.
And this is, as some people would say today, the good old country music, not modern rock and roll country music. But the point is, I grew up on all of those individuals. And I know that some people probably in a kind of shorthand way think of female country artist as often being sort of symbolized by Tammy Wynette's song Stand By Your Man, and that they were very traditional in their values, when in fact there is a lot of resistance and strength in the country western female performance world. Female, just like the men who are talking about overcoming their problems and their breakups and their beer in their truck and all the other stuff.
Their dog.
The women are also talking about how to move ahead and resist what's going on with the patriarchy, and at the same time how they're dealing with their broken heart and their family and raising their kids and all that. There's a lot of that stuff out there. And in fact, Tammy Wynette got kind of, I think, unfortunately kind of hurt by that. But the point is, she had an amazing voice. And sometimes these country western women, in that kind of way that they sort of sing, that kind of wail that comes out of them, that is sort of the white version of gospel as well. There's a lot of power and a lot of force. And Tammy Wynette sang a song called, which I believe I sent you, Your Good Girl's Gonna Go Bad.
That's a good one, yeah.
And it's really a song of kind of resistance. She's saying, oh, okay, you're going to treat me like this? Well, then I'm going to turn into the woman that you've been cheating on behind my back. I'm going to start wearing lipstick. I'm going to go to the bars. I'm going to be that person.
Yeah.
And but there are some great, when you look at you can go all down this list of Tanya Tucker and these really strong women singing.
Yeah, I think Loretta Lynn is in that category too.
100%.
And she
Joe would have gotten around to it eventually.
Yeah, absolutely.
She came out of a tough background in the mountains and
coal miner's daughter.
Yeah. And
yes.
I'm just thinking about Don't Come Home and Drink 'Em with Lovin' on Your Mind. But
yeah,
it's always been one of my favorites. But there is that strain is there, and it really happened. Like everything else happened in the 60s, but these singers like Patsy Cline and probably Brenda Lee kind of opened things up, and then all of a sudden, the record industry in Nashville, which is very conservative, decided, well, maybe these women can sell records after all, and we just we'll let them sing and see what happens. And but there had to be a couple of artists that would that would actually, again, open those doors and so forth. So, I mean, that's a good subject to explore.
Yeah, absolutely. And, by the way, we were talking about Dolly Parton, who is just, what an amazing human being. But when you look at Dolly Parton's home, that she and her, it was, 12 siblings or whatever it was, it's a shack.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, she grew up in abject poverty, and yet all of those values, those human values of compassion and community came through her. It's amazing.
And she...
All 4'11".
She is... I'd say she is self-educated too.
Yes.
She learned from her experiences and learned who she could trust and who she couldn't. So, but I was just thinking the song we just heard, that arrangement, you're talking about country music, there's some wonderful acoustic guitar and these old-timey country licks, but there's strings and all kinds of stuff in there. So what is modern country? What is traditional country? How do you...
The lines get a little bit blurred, don't they, Doc?
Yeah.
Well, if the music's good, then,
it's good. Well, if it's good, it's good. No matter what decade or era.
My philosophy is that there are only three types of music. There's good music, and there's bad music, and there's bad mariachi music.
I'm going to ring a bell for bad mariachi music. So I have a question for you, Dr. Bob. If we consider those of us that were kind of coming of age in the 70s, the decade of the 70s, and if we consider that era of music the decade of dance, I'll use that because the latter half of that was Saturday Night Fever and all
disco,
all that involved, which was dancing, right? But we've always been dancing, though. We different types of dance. But the decade of the 60s kind of stands out to me as the era of maybe protest music and music, coming of age music, both for men and for women, and of course anti-war music.
Sure, and I think that is a perspective, but
and there's Joan Baez, by the way. There's Joan Baez.
She's in there as well. She's in there as well.
Well, and as a protest music person from that time.
Absolutely, and also someone who's very goal-directed and very much in charge of her own destiny and so forth, for better or worse sometimes. But no, I think if you look at, I don't know, when I was doing the 60s show, I said I had several different audiences. There were people who said, well, there's no good music after 1963.
Right.
And these are the people that went to the record hops and the dances and stuff like that. And then you have, the folk music crowd, and then you have the Woodstock crowd and so forth. So there's different, I won't say there are different periods of music, but there's different ways that people reacted to it.
Right.
And of course, by the time of the Woodstock crowd, people... They couldn't dance because they could barely move. They were so stoned, and
there were a lot of them close together. They couldn't move, literally couldn't move.
Yeah, they couldn't protest or anything.
Right.
But no, so dance music kind of disappeared for a while, and disco brought it back.
That's right.
So,
and then the revolution anti-disco movement gave us punk. What was that all about? What was that all about?
I'll tell you.
We don't have time, Doc.
Okay, but just one real quick thing here. In the radio business, the fastest growing formats in the radio business in the 1970s were nostalgia formats.
Interesting.
So people said, well, I don't want to listen to this crap. I want to listen to,
Listen, I've got Sirius Radio that I'm paying for each and every month, and I barely get off of one station. And it's called The Groove, and there's a lot of 70s dance music to it, and it just makes me happy. Joey, we got to get out of here. We better hurry up and do this. But beforehand, Dr. Bob, we so much look forward to these shows with you, and we're looking forward to the next one already.
Okay.
All right, good. He's locked in. He's committed.
He's locked and loaded.
All right. Yes. So, as always, folks, special thanks to Jessica, the OG of Board Ops.
Who today you heard her voice.
Who chimed in, and see, that's why we like.
I love that about you, Jessica. Thank you.
And then also I want to thank to our call taker today. Gabrielle is there.
Beautiful.
With her silver hair. And coming up next is Bam Wham, it's Sam.
He can never get it right. He just says whatever comes to his mind.
And she's going to be here with It's the Music Wednesday.
It's the Music Wednesday, so leave it right here. If you've got a radio you're listening to, just rip that knob off. You're not going to need to change the radio station. And if you enjoyed today's show with Dr. Bob Lotke, please let us know. Send us an email. We'd love to have your suggestions for the next time he comes on. We're going to bring him back because we enjoy this as much as we hope you do as well. So thank you one and all for listening. Today you've been listening to The Conversation with Mario Nunez, Joe King Carter, and our guest, Dr. Bob Lotke. This is WMNF Tampa.